Hello everyone, I am Gabriele Barboni and I'm the architect and technical leader of the dynamic worker console. Today I'm going to present you, show you working slides and some demo. The orchestration monitor, basically the orchestration monitor, which is the new monitor experience that we are building release by release, step by step, together with the customers in order to obtain something different from the previous monitor experience, which was the monitor workload. So, first of all, some context. Why we start this process? That's a good choice of colors. The inspiration was that we wanted to revamp, modernize the user interface. Based on what? Based on the state-of-art technology, of course, because UIs are always evolving. The market, the technologies, the frameworks are always evolving constantly. Years by years, month by month, we need to catch up with those. We need to stay on the same line with them. And we want to improve the performances too of the monitoring experience. So that's what drove us to create this new monitoring experience. So how we did that? We used the new client-side frameworks, state-of-art technologies. We used a new design, a new style. We included the new scenarios interaction to simplify the work of the operators, which constantly use the monitoring to perform daily work. And we try to simplify those type of interactions, which is the vision here. The vision is that the evolution of this new monitor experience should be driven by the market requests, but also by the customers. You will see in the presentation that lots of features have been explicitly requested by customers, and we are including those because those have been requested, and those help the customers having a better interaction, having a faster experience, and perform better their daily work. Which is the goal. The goal is to have a functional parity with the monitor workload. So, of course, all the functionalities that we have in the monitor workload will be part of the step-by-step on the orchestration monitor. But we are also including enhancements so that we simplify the work, we accelerate the work, we give faster performance. So that's the two goals, main goals that is driving us to create this orchestration monitor. Okay, so we have announced the user experience. So I will go some back and forth from slides to demo slides. We have announced the user experience. Now, if you use the folders, if you start using the concept of the folders in your company, the navigation through folders is much easier because we are providing the same type of tree view that we have integrated in the workload designer. Now it's also on the orchestration monitor. That was not present in the monitor workload. So this type of navigation is definitely easier if you use the folders concept. If you don't, and that's a feedback that we received from customers, now you can hide the sidebar. We receive feedback from customers saying, we are not still using the folders, we don't need that. Okay, we can work on that. Now you can hide the sidebar and have the full page focused on the data that you are monitoring. So the hide and show functionality. There is the query synchronization, again, with the folders, because when you interact with the tree view, then the query is updated based on the user selection of the tree view. We improved the saved queries because you can save, edit, and share the workflow in a very fast way. And the most important thing is that the saved queries, when you open a saved query, the same user setting which the operator was setting in the orchestration monitor will be applied. So once an operator performs some user setting changes on the page, those remains there. no matter if you change the query, no matter if you open a saved query, no matter if you change the folder in Trivio. Once those type of settings are placed, and I'll show you later which type of settings, those stay there. So that's a one-time customization, which is fully user-centered. So if some operator is interested in 5 columns, 5 information from the job stream and not the others, you can do that. If another operator is interested in another subset of information for the job stream, you can do that. They will see different views because those are now user-based settings.
Is that across the board, no matter where you go to?
Across what?
Across the board. So even if you go into a job stream and then
those are object related, of course, because if you want to see a subset of information for the job stream, those will be saved for that user. Then when that user switches to the job, you can define another set of information because the information between between objects are not the same, of course. But once those type of user settings are saved per object, those will remain there.
For the session, or if you log off?
Not for the session. Not for the session.
If it logs back on, it's still set.
Yes. So before we go to that, let me. Okay, I need to extend the sharing. Yes. Okay. So let's see. I was talking about the tree view. So we can see, we can go through the tree view and select the folders on the tree on the left. The queries that might be updated based on the user interaction. Okay. This is the tree view navigation. Then you see that I have set this sort on the job name over here. So it sort for ascending, sort for descending. If I click on a cell query, which is retrieving totally different data from the ones I was browsing before, the same setting is still kept. The same user setting preference, which is the sort on the job in descending, ascending way, that is kept no matter if I switch from a query, from another read manual query, or if I select something from the tree view. Okay, so we are still keeping the same type of user setting. The query synchronization I show you. The item show functionality. Yes. Now we can, if you don't use the folder, you don't have to see the tree view. You can minimize the sidebar. Still, that can be shown on over here, but just by clicking. So you are still able to access those type of information without the need of seeing those constantly. You are interested in the data which are monitoring. You're not interested in the tree view. So you can minimize the sidebar. Still, you can access that, and you can interact with that, of course.
So this is 10.2.7.
This is 10.2.7.
Right.
This is
You're gonna be
10.2.7.
busy,
Each release, so 4, 5, 6, 7, we are including more and more functionality, more and more customer requests, because what I'll show you at the end, the multiple job stream submission, there was a group of requests from lots of customers that we included in this single functionality. So we're not just porting everything that was on the model workload inside the orchestration monitor. We are also evolving the orchestration monitor in a way to include the new requests from the customers.
So this is just 10.2.7 DWC.
Yeah.
It's all
And the master and the engine.
And the engine. I don't mean for the multiple job submissions. I mean for this.
Oh no, for this it's just a UI setting.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
So does that mean you can also get rid of the black sidebar as well?
At the bottom.
This one.
Yeah. This one.
Down.
This was already there.
Yeah, that's there also.
Finally, a working view.
Yeah.
Basically, that's all we were asking for, wasn't it?
We're getting that. I mean, I get that.
Okay.
Most of that is available in
before 10.2.7, there's only a couple minor updates that he's showing you that are 10.2.7 here.
That's important, though, straight away.
Yeah.
To be able to see more.
Oh, absolutely.
So another question from me, which is leading to what we've got this afternoon.
Mhm.
Columns. Can you have a default setting for all your columns, and that goes across all your views?
Yes. So let me show you. I want to show you a full customization. So we have the job sort placed here. Let's see. Okay. Another functionality that I wanted to show you later is this one, the include subfolders. So I don't know if you have noticed, but when you open the orchestration monitor, all data is retrieved from all the folders in case you're using folders. Some of the customers said, I'm just interested in the data inside that specific folder. So we provide this type of functionality which can enable and disable this type of retrieving of data. So in case I'm interested to retrieve data from the folder I specified, I selected on tree view, and the subfolders, I can enable that. Otherwise, I can just disable them, and the data will be only based on the folder I have selected. Okay, so in this case, I have no data because I have this plan over here. So if I select this one, I have no data. Still, if I want to include again data from that folder and the subfolders, I can just enable it again. And this is also user setting. Means that if I close the orchestration monitor page and I enter again the orchestration monitor page, this type of settings is there. Okay, will be there per user. Okay, other type of customization. We have the table configuration where you can select the columns that you want and you don't want to see. Let me see. Let me switch here. If I remember correctly, there was someone interested in the carry forward information. So I have already included that. So let me remove some information which I may not be interested in. Okay, now I have this subset I'm interested in. Let's see what else again I do.
Just as a sideline, there was a bug on 10.2.2 for sorting those columns, and it is fixed now in 10.2.7. It's in the sort order on
sort order of which column?
scheduled time, I think it was.
The scheduled time, yes, we fixed that. There was a time zone issue.
So that's yeah. My customer's going to wait for this to be fixed.
It's we fixed that. We can check later. Okay, so now I'm in the job stream. I select the specific query over here. I specify the subset of columns I'm interested in. Let me put something with more data. Sorry, operator. Okay. Okay. I can perform a sorting for the job stream name. So columns sorting the sides.
You're not able to reorganize the column orders. Is that what you were asking? That's what I was saying. Yeah, you can't put the job as the first column as the job name.
You can manipulate the columns, but you can manipulate across your whole experience.
Right. You can customize the row size.
Okay.
We can customize the row size. You can allow the column reorder so that are you interested in the schedule time?
But can we set it as a global setting so my operators across the board
All
can
can
see the same thing when they
no,
log in?
we choose to perform this as a user setting because maybe a little, but there could be different scenarios between different operators. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's just a one-time configuration because the next time they're going. So let me show you. So we applied the sorting. We had applied the reorder of the columns. We have a specific query over here. So let me get out of this. Let me reopen it. Okay, we have the schedule time, the column, which is there since I have moved it. I have the sorting which is being applied correctly as per my request. I have also the last user query which has been applied. What does it mean? It means that if I'm working on monitoring something, on something, it's this one. If I close it, I get the user setting saved as closed. So until I reopen it manually, it will be kept closed. So all the settings which have been specified by the operator have been saved and be applied again at the next opening of the orchestration monitor and are saved as user settings. So the columns, the sorting, the last user query, the open closure of the sidebar of the tree view, everything has been saved and been reapplied again at the next opening of the orchestration monitor. This will improve much more how the operator get into the real work. So I just open and I can continue the work I was doing before closing that, exactly from the same point where I left.
Okay, so if I'm looking at what my operators do, bear in mind that some operators will not be iOS literate, but I need them to have exactly the same view as the others. At the moment, we will need the administrators to define the process they need to follow to set up that profile so that it's consistent. I'm just thinking I've got a 24/7 operation, I've got multiple skill sets in there. I want them to all have the same view and the same story that they're reporting on, without that confusion. And that's where I was asking about the global setting. If I could say, this is the setting that I want as the default view for the application, it gives the administrators the control over the narrative that they're presenting to whomever.
What would be very nice is to be able to put out this is now the I don't want to call it default setting, but a default setting. So if no one's the very first time you log in, you get, this is the order that it's in there.
Yeah. I mean,
I want to change this and this. It'll save it underneath that user ID, but have that default setting would be really nice.
And that allows my consistency that I need.
Yeah, we can think about that. I mean, we already have created an administration panel to handle different type of scenario. We could try to use the same administration panel to provide some kind of way to give some starting settings on the orchestration monitor, which then can be further refined, of course.
I'm thinking about
the operator change the starting, if the operator change the columns, so that still will be saved as user settings.
I'm flipping it on its head as well. The operators obviously have one element of this, but the application owner he doesn't give a shit about folders and other bits of workstation potentially. They may just want to know what their job's doing, when it's running, and it completed, and is their dependencies weighted, and that might be all that they actually need. And I don't really want to have my admin going through that process with every user.
What you really want is role-based views.
Effectively. Some of it, Or allowing us to have that profile that we can define.
During the same lot, by the way, we were setting up proper just default operations. Again, we've got new operations snapping out. And again, some have got only been in 3 to 6 months, whatever. And we've got people who've been in there 25 years. So we're setting up a standard. These are what you need. Just a broad. That's dashboard, isn't it? That's dashboards.
Dashboards as well.
Dashboards.
Because we're just adopting DWC now. We still use web app. Still gets that support, but we still use web app. So we've made the decision that end of June web admin's going, so we're now investing in DWC. The amount of work we've had to put into the widgets to get them to look like web admin is unbelievable. So this is where that default setting comes from, because we're putting work into widgets so they look how we're used to seeing things. But as soon as they go outside of that view, you're back to this default view. So once you click on something and go, like if you go into a job stream, click on jobs, it's the default view. It's that view. Whereas we want them to be able to see workstation, job stream, job name, duration.
Okay, so default settings per role or per user associated.
And be able to lock them down as well, so they can. We want our operators now to be working as standard rather than they've all drifted away to their own little way of working. We're bringing that now back and go, this is the way that DWC is going to work.
And there's more companies, and my client as well. They're now going down the kind of, whereas before it was just a landscape model of we just did stuff for them. They're now value stream orientated. So each of those value stream has a different customer perspective, a different business objective, so on and so forth. So a lot of what we've got to look at with AWS is how do we replicate that in it, whether it's using folders more heavily or whether it is having different roles and profiles for different streams of users now, whereas before we just went, there's browse users over there and there's admin over here, schedulers there. We haven't got that flexibility now, and security is also at the top of all of that for us.
Rather than associated to role, maybe it could be actually some association specific to groups and users.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, flexibility in there, really.
I think to please both customers, you want the option of either setting a layout and being able to lock it, or giving them the autonomy to do whatever they'd like.
Yeah, a starting look and then the autonomy to do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think Tony has a comment about this as well. Tony, would you like to unmute yourself and let everyone know what that is?
I was just agreeing with what Spencer said, and something set up via the security role would be a great way of managing this.
Well, the security role, you mean the role which is defined on the managed workload security?
Yeah. So if you either set default views per those roles, because those are essentially how you're managing people. So the operators will be part of that, the administrators will be part of that. So you can manage those roles as per essentially the activities or the roles that are assigned to them. Yeah,
the only thing here is that the area involved in those two customizations is completely different. I mean, when you perform a security role, you are basically defining security roles on the objects inside the master. So regarding the objects that you can see and the operation you can perform. This type of configuration that we are brainstorming here, it's more UI related area. Not sure that could be good to mix those two information inside the main section. But
when we're saving these profiles here, saving it, as you said, to the user setting itself, could then flip it on its head, rather than worrying about the queries being saved at role level, would it be easier for an admin to be able to set a role and then just make it available and actually almost say, here's some global available queries that are available? So you're an ab initio integration engineer, you only want to see this view.
You have operator views in Netcool.
You need a way to connect
this is the same query format for your
the role of the user with a configuration of the UI, not necessarily doing it when they need a way to connect it.
We have that.
There's a number of options there. I mean, I'm not really that concerned. I just want to have some control over the narrative.
Okay, we have that for the managed roles.
Yeah.
Here you can define the roles and you can associate the user and groups, and eventually we can try to include this type of settings over here, but not with the managed workload security, because it's a different type of area and different type of objective goal for that specific page. That is more related to the security permission of the objects that you are dealing with on the master. For, let's say, UI preferences, it's better to have a separate area, and maybe that could be the one where we can perform this type of connection between the user groups, the roles, and the user settings.
It's a view, isn't it? You need to be able to define a view and then apply that view to a role, so they get that view.
That is something. So again, if I look at another IBM product, Netcool, you can do exactly that. You can define an operator view, set an operator view up, and you can assign that to a specific group. So they always log in, they get that view. And you control what views they have access to and all kinds of stuff.
Okay.
But yeah, it's just different for that.
Yeah, we're brainstorming future announcements. Okay, so let me switch back to the presentation. Okay, fast way to monitor. Why? Some of the functionality I just explained. The last user query. So I performing some work. I disconnect from WC. I reconnect. I can start exactly from where I left. So when you open the orchestration model, as you saw, the last use query is retrieved and instantly applied. So you don't need to do anything. Inline filters, launching context, I'll show you. So basically, with inline filters, you apply on-the-fly filters on the already applied query filters that you have performed. So let's say you have a generic query that you want to run, then I want another subset of that query. Do I need to write again the query? No, you can apply the line filters and reduce the amount of data.
That dynamic as you type in.
Exactly, it is dynamic. Show only selected, I'll show you. So how many of you have used the model workload, started to select objects between, maybe you have lots of objects which are divided between the pages, page 1, page 2, page 3. You select an object in page 1, then one in page 3, then one in page 10, then you don't remember what you selected. Okay, that's another issue that we addressed in the orchestration monitor with the show only selected functionality. Clicking on that, only the selected data between all the pages is grouped and showed, and then you can interact with those. You can perform operation on those directly from this minimized view of all the data which we were showing and monitoring before. We have the automatic refresh, as before, and the quick property search I'll show you, and a modernized dependency, which is way faster than the previous one. So let me start with the line filters. Okay, so show filter criteria.
You're not sharing.
Oh, sorry. Okay, so let me start again. So this is the starting point. Show filter criteria is over here. We hide that again from a customer feedback, which was saying, why do I need to waste one row for the filters? I want to see data. I'm monitoring. I need to see as much data as possible. Okay. We perform the hide and show also of the filters. So I can open the filters. I can select only the successful. Instantly, the subset is retrieved. I can remove that, and I can switch back to the previous query without the need to change anything on the main query which I started from, without the need to apply any advanced filter or so on. Then the launching context. So the launching context is something which was available also before in the model workload, but not really used. It's a really fast way to perform interactions between operators. Let's say, okay, I'm monitoring this query, and I'm talking to another operator and saying, okay, have you seen that we need to perform this type of operation, we need to apply this type of changes. Okay, show me the query. What I can do instantly? Click on query URL, click on copy, okay. And okay, I need to share this tab, okay. Pass the URL over here, okay, you don't see the URL. And a new, using the URL, I open the WC again, and the WC opened the orchestration monitor, and the orchestration monitor ran the same exact query that I started from. Okay, you don't see because the sharing is cut, but this is a different WC, not the one I started from. Okay,
that's really helpful. I mean, we have tools like Datadog, and we pass the Datadog URL. So when someone gets an incident service now, they can click on the Datadog URL and it takes them straight to the source of the data which generated the alert. And this is very similar.
Exactly.
It's very good.
Okay. So this was the launching context. Let's use query line filters. Oh, the show only selected. For the show only selected, I need more data. So let me.
Sorry, can you automate that URL into things like, you've got event generation now. Could you export that as part of your alert? If you had an abandoned job or a wrong running job, could you export, that so that people could go straight to it and look? Is that something you can incorporate into the alert as a
So
flag
what
or
you're
a tag?
asking is basically, but for this you will need to use the advanced query, not the line filters, because it needs to be. So you're basically asking, okay, can I see, for example, the status? Let's say ready. Okay, this type of query. Let's pretend it's Aben jobs. Okay, yes, you click on query URL, copy, okay. This is another DWC.
Yeah.
Okay, I opened another DWC.
But can you build that into your automations?
So the event
Can you
capture
use an
happens and then
event
data share.
to send that link to somebody?
Can I send an event?
Can you use an event to send that exact link to somebody?
Yes. Yes, I mean the URL is basically the IP of the DWC. You can use an example URL from, and then you can modify based on your needs. If you need the ready, the status happened, and then you just need the IP, of course, of the DWC, which must be opened on the operator system, and then you can send that URL.
Everyone from my company, my client, everyone is saying as little, a minimal number of keystrokes. Forgetting AI and automation, that's it. The minimal number of keystrokes you get from an event to understanding what the event is and the triage starts. Having something where that event goes out, and if they have the access and allowed to use it, get the link that says, right, this is the screen, this is the error, and I don't know, maybe I'm pushing it through the actual transactions going through PagerDuty or another tool. It's about getting that information to that support engineer as fast as possible so they can start understanding what the impact is.
There is no specific information here.
Yeah.
So if you create, I don't know, some the send event plugin with this type of generic query, if in my case it's localhost, but if the IP is reachable from the operator or the PID of the WC, then you can just click the link which received the email.
It's slightly different to putting an alert, a rule in for an vended job and having a dynamic link that will send you straight to it. It's slightly different to that. You could put a generic view in that showed you vended jobs and it would be included in that. But
you might have three different application areas having three different problems.
You can't do it for the specific one. Yeah. That's
Put in a request for that.
I was going to say that's an RFE, isn't it? Yeah.
Okay, now, surely selected them. So let's say I want to have this one as which I go on page 2, and I want this one. You see that the surely selected button is now enabled, telling you how many elements have been selected. One in the previous page, one in this other page. Now clicking surely selected, I can see only the selected elements from any page that you may have with any amount of data that you have in the operation, in the orchestration model. And I can switch back to show. Okay, so the next one was the quick search property. So this is also to quickly, every functionality, every enhancement that we did is to make the operator, the customer, being able to perform all the operation that was being performed before in a faster way. Okay, so let's say I need to understand something about the information inside the job. So I need to quickly check if a job is late. I write late and all the matching late are retrieved instantly, so you can check instantly whatever you need. Run options, okay, run options, okay. You see, it's faster, it's on the fly, and you get the information quickly, browsing from all the properties of the job and for all the other objects, of course, because this properties visualization is common for all the objects. Talking about the objects, I forgot to say that in 10.2.7 we have included also other objects, prompts and file. So now we reached around, I think, 90% of the coverage for regarding the objects.
When's workload assurance going to be included?
We'll see. What is in plan? We'll see.
It's in plan?
Yes, it's in plan. We'll see how to improve it. And the research problem, the dependency view. The dependency view. Let me take some with dependencies. Job stream with dependency. I created before. Actually, steps, yes, of course. So, dependency view has been completely created from scratch. Now the visualization with the tiles, there are still grouped in a set of dependencies based on the type, of course, but this is way faster than before. Also because for the orchestration monitor, we are connecting directly into the data of the engine. Before on the monitor workload, we had post-processing of the data, which may result in some slowness sometimes. In this case, that post-processing is not there anymore. Everything you see is coming directly from the master. So we just display the data, not post-processing anymore, which made the query way faster. Okay, back to the presentation. Okay, this we already addressed. The full customization as per user needs. Available columns, advanced sort, columns rearrange. Yes, I didn't show you that, but you can also rearrange the size of the columns, and that's also another user preference that is going to be saved together with the others. Flexibility to show the sidebar, and they include subfolders functionality in case you are interested in the specific folders data rather than seeing data from all the folders. Orchestration monitor language. We talked about that yesterday. This is a really powerful capability which has been highly requested with lots of RFE. Probably some of you are also opened those RFE. What is the orchestration query language? Is the solution of requesting filters in AND and OR logic. So in the monitor workload, you could set the filters, one filter with AND logic. Now you can have inclusive and exclusive logic with also using the same filter multiple times. So you can apply a combination and have the most complex query that you need for your purposes using the OQL keywords and syntax. We have the official documentation. Let me show you that.
It would be nice to have that at your fingertips within DWC, rather than have to go and find it.
That's in the future announcement. Let me, I'll arrive on that. So using query orchestration query language, we have the full documentation, which includes all the keywords and syntax that you need to use to create your query using OQL. And as a future announcement, I need to switch again. And in the future roadmap, a simplified guide through for the query creation. What does it mean? It means that in this moment, you just have to time the query, okay? In the future, what we want to do, and we are working on that, is to have some suggestions. Okay, so meanwhile, you write the query, you get suggestions on the name of the fields, the operators you can apply, the type of combination that you can perform. So basically, it's the documentation, like you were saying, included in the OQC. So this is what we are working on already. In the meantime, we have a very detailed official documentation. So let me show you.
If I could only suggest one thing, learn OQL. It's like your con man, only on steroids.
But an easier way of selecting what you need would be great. A page with a tick box, not like click OK, boom, there's your query.
Okay, we are back here. So how to enable the OQL? Just click the switch button. I write my OQL query. Of course, I prepared before, but you can see that I'm using this name filter twice. Okay, name like this this string here, or this is important. We are now the possibility to perform the OR logic, which was not able or possible with the modern workload. So this is extending in an infinite way the possibilities of filtering. And we're using again the name filter here, looking for different information. And also we are using the sched time filter, combining everything into a single query, complex query. So now I have retrieved all the jobs which start with operator star, which are operator 2, and have a sched time before the data which I specified, or the jobs with the name like MJSS star. Okay, so now the result is combining the data retrieved by this complex filter and showing all the data which are requested based on the filters I've set.
And the thing that's really cool, you can copy the URL and send it to somebody else so they don't have to learn how to use OQL. Though, as I said, learn it, it's good stuff.
But also by having to copy it and send it, they'll learn it by seeing examples, won't they?
Yep.
The one thing I will say is, I'm not sure this is coming on to it later on, is there any plans to put an AI agent into the DWC? So that you don't have to know this programming language, you just go, show me things that are related to this, and it will interpret it and write that OQL for you.
Yes, there is plan to include some AI into the orchestration monitor. That's in the what's new slide that you anticipated for me now. And but yes, both in the let's say query creation, but also in the analysis of the job log. What we are doing right now is to include AI to perform analysis of the job log and try to provide inputs on that.
Could I ask a question why you use the word like, name like, yeah?
Yes.
Instead of like saying, because you know the job, like instead of it could be say job or job type. Is that when you're doing a name like, is that just looking at the fields below and,
yes,
and basically picking out anything that's MJS and it's also got operator as well on the information below?
It's wildcarding.
So, yeah.
Yeah. So if you put name equals opera, it would find it.
Unless it's your call the stack.
So sorry, the question was how did I get the name field that was matching this field over here?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you said name and instantly went into your job side there, and I'm thinking, well, how would you think it'd be more
Job or
job or you know,
job
like
name, I use jobs and using naming job streams. So, but it is a standard there. But
yes, yes.
It's
a standard fields.
Yeah.
In this moment, you either rely on the documentation or you explore those using the Swagger REST API documentation, because those are the REST API fields which are retrieved from a REST API call. So you can explore those using the Swagger documentation.
So do you expose that API to other things other than the DWC as well? So you could use OQL from, sorry, do you expose that API to other things in the DWC as well? So you could effectively call OQL against the API from something else?
That's what the API uses OQL. You can't get around it.
But what I mean is, could you use something else, another command line tool or another web app or something, to reach that API to get those same results back?
They're exposed. Yeah.
Credentials, yes.
Yes, but those are not exposed by the WC because the REST API are not on the WC side, except for the ZS mainframe ones. Those are exposed on the master. On the master, there you get the documentation and the endpoints for those REST APIs. So from there, you can use version 2 APIs, which is the exact same APIs the orchestration monitor is using to perform different type of scenarios that you want to do directly calling the REST APIs.
And if people in this room aren't using APIs because they used version 1 and it was horrible and very hard to use, version 2 got so much better. It's actually usable.
So because we've set up a traditional dashboard in DWC with data source queries, and thinking, well, how do I get OQL queries onto the dashboard? That would be over an API then.
Yes.
An API data source.
Yep.
That query.
Okay. What's the time? Can I continue? Robert?
Sorry, Robert.
Can I continue?
Should we have the break?
We were just talking about how much we were going to cut lunch down by.
Yeah. Perfect timing then.
Yes.
So, should I continue or what's the plan?
Yes, continue.
Okay, great. So, multiple object sections. We have improved also how you perform actions on multiple objects. On the model workload, there were lots of limitations. Let's say now you can do any type of operation on any type of number of objects from the orchestration monitor. So you just need to select those. You are redirected to guide the step-by-step wizard, which provides you step-by-step flow, the review process. So before you apply the changes that you need to apply, the action that you need to perform, you can check the objects that you actually want to perform the action. You can track the result of that action because you land on a page where you can see all the actions that are being performed object by object. You can see the result of that action, and eventually, if the action failed, you can retry that type of action on that specific object without the need to perform again the actions on all the objects, just the single object which has failed.
Is that tick box, or does it show you what has failed?
Okay, what we can do here? Let's see. We can cancel those. So I selected this tree. I clicked on cancel. I got into the new multiple actions wizard. You see that there is the review step. So are you sure you want to perform the cancel action on the objects that you have selected? If that's the case, you can continue. Otherwise, you can also from here deselect one of the objects. I click on next. I confirm the action. The action has been processed for all the three objects. The request status is correct, which means that all the there is a little bit of delay. All the cancel action has been performed correctly to all the objects selected. In case any of the objects had failed the step of action, a retry button would appear here, and you could retry the action on that specific object. Okay. So, do I need to stay this page while those actions are performed? No, because I may have started, I don't know, the change of priority over 20 objects. Do I need to stay here to track and watch? No, I can just close, continue the operation that I need to do, the monitoring I need to perform, and then go on the activity monitor page, activity monitor section, which will show me all the information of the action, again, the request status, and also from here, in case some of the operation didn't succeed, I can retry that specific operation from the activity monitor section. Okay, so meanwhile the actions are being performed on the background, let's say, I can continue monitoring. And then if I want to understand the status of the actions which I performed before, which I triggered before of the bench of bulk of actions, I can go back. I can go to the activity monitor and track those in this page. And this is nice because the state of those operations which are being triggered in the background are kept also when the orchestration monitor gets closed. Okay, so I closed the orchestration monitor. The operation was still going. Some operation was still going. Of course, if you close the orchestration monitor, at some point the operation missing are not triggered because you are closing the page which is is performing the operation. Still, I can track those activities again, entering the orchestration monitor and again on the activity monitor. And that was about the multiple objects.
What kind of performance do you get? You know, you could be monitoring, you take a power spike or whatever and you lose 7,000 jobs. I mean, I've seen it happen. And I have to cancel 7,000 jobs. I noticed when you canceled 3 of them, it took a bit of time to go through just 3. If I had 7,000 of them selected, are we going to see a performance issue?
You will get 7,000 requests. Some point is not about the performances on the WC, it's about if the master can handle those type of number of requests.
Because from the command line, with Conman, I could do it like that, and it's done.
It's put in queue. It's put in queue and it's being processed one by one. It's the same here. The master received the request, it's put in the queue and it's processed one by one. Additional features, this is also coming from a customer request, the operator instructions, which are quite useful because let's say you are in the situation where there are the team which creates the objects on the workload designer. So on the workload designer, they created jobs, same jobs. They know how to define, they know what to do in case of eventual issues. So they can provide those type of instructions inside the job stream definitions, and those type of instructions can be are displayed on the orchestration monitor now. So
this is really cool. It really is good.
With that job stream definition.
You can do job stream,
yes.
Within the job stream definition itself.
Yes.
There's a field, a new field that you can use to specify the operator instruction.
Yep.
And you get it in the monitoring view.
Right here, you're gonna see it.
It's over here, operator, yes. So I put some documentation here. Okay, so you see this strange syntax, which is called Markdown. Okay, Markdown enables you to include some, let's say, visual effects to the text you are including. But you can just place a normal text. That's not a problem. This is an additional enhancement. So you can just include your instruction here in this documentation or in the description, okay, of the job stream. We are in the workload designer. Now, I have submitted before this one, so let me get this here in the orchestration monitor. Is this one? I go in the operator instructions. And what I wrote in the definition is there to help the operators understand the instructions on how to fix the issue, the eventual issue. So The strange syntax I was showing before gives you the possibility to perform this type of styling text. Okay, it's like the markup. So it's like on Word, you put the headings, text bigger, and so on. And using the Markdown syntax, you can perform different things. So,
what's the size of that definition field?
For K, I need to double check on that.
But still sizable.
It's quite big.
Does that become part of the actual definition of the jobs if you different class?
Yeah.
Sorry,
Say to a composer to just sort of download that job stream, did that then include all that operational text as well?
Yes, yes. So you can see you can include the links also. So I've included the link here on the Workload Designer. You can include images. Now I have don't have connectivity, so it's not showing because it was external one. You can include icons. You can include anything. So you can also include this type of pages if you ever seen those around. Emoji, but I don't think that it's a real use case maybe for the customers. I mean, you can include lots of things leveraging the Markdown syntax. We are able to process that, include that in the definition, and show that on the monitoring side. That is really helpful because the team which creates the workload eventually knows how to fix issues which may happen in the plan. So they can provide those type of instructions in the definition, and the operators can see those instructions from the orchestration monitor using the operator instruction functionality.
Is it at job level as well as job stream level?
It
Or
is
job stream level and you apply it down.
let me show you. It is at which one was that? It is a job stream level, and you can see the two fields I showed you before, but it's also a job level. At job level, you can see several layers. This one. You can see description and documentation field from the job stream, which contains a job. You can see the description of the job instance, which in this case is the job in job stream. When you include the job inside the job stream, you can define the description, then you can define those type of information there. And also the job definition itself. So you have 3 levels when you open the operator instruction of the job. 3 levels of possibility for the operator instructions.
So you can see job definition there, which is traditional composer output, I'm assuming.
Yes.
Can you see that at job stream level?
Sorry, come again?
Can you see the job stream definition at the job stream level? So
Yes, that's the one I showed you before.
But you show the description, but does it show you the body of the job stream?
No. That's only about the
description.
description and documentation fields. No, you are already thinking about the composer editor. This is another type of functionality.
Was the operator instructions only on the job stream?
No, it's on both.
Because I only saw the description when you went through those 3 tabs.
Sorry, let me show you again. We have at the job stream level. Now I didn't feel that, but this is the job stream, which includes the operator 2 job. Okay, now I'm querying the job here. The jobs here. Operator 2 is a job, so I can include information at the level of the job stream, which includes this operator 2 job. I can include information at the level of the job instance, which means the job in job stream. It's basically this operator 3. Where is operator 2? This one. Okay, which is this one. So I can include at this level, so description and documentation. So job stream level. and I can include at this level, so description of the job in job stream, which means when I include the job inside the job stream, and I can include also in the job definition, so directly in the description of the job definition here of the operator tool. So there are 3 layers, 3 levels.
That makes sense, yeah.
Is there a way, can you create templates to be used within that? So like you've got an example in there, can we create our own templates that the teams have to follow for their formatting?
No. I mean, you cannot, of course, you can create a template and copy paste, but in this moment, there is no template provided when you create an empty job stream or an empty job definition. But the description can be passed from the job stream to the job job stream.
We have a question down here. Go ahead, sir.
So is that only updatable by the DWC, or is this also exposed through an API? So perhaps you could do a push from.
It's also exposed through an API, and you will see this kind of information, of course, also through Composer. The problem is that you will not get the formatting, because the formatting is UI related. So if you use a simple text to include those type of information, yes. If you use the markdown syntax, then you will not get the same formatting that I showed you here.
So if you have a job stream with marked up text and you do Composer create from that job stream,
you will see this. Wait, okay, you will see this. This type of let's say
output.
Yes, exactly.
But you could then create a new job stream, change the text.
Yes.
And add it in, and then you're going to see that marked up.
Yes. I mean, you don't necessarily need to use the markdown syntax. That's just an announcement which can provide you extended functionalities, extended possibilities to show this type of information. But you can just type plain text and use that.
Yeah. Once you've created your template with the bold text, you just copy it to the next one, and
exactly, yes.
I don't know about anyone else. So we call them JMIs. We created an applet in ServiceNow. What we're missing is the link between DWC and that. With Netcall, we've got tools, we've written tools that will launch directly, but I'm not sure we can do that in DWC. But one of the problems I see with this is how do you create that? Because if you've got a knowledge repository, it's indexed, it's got all of that. Do you have that kind of level of, this seems to be very much in the job, how do you index that and manage it?
If you had a link back to your knowledge repository.
So that's what I can think of. I could use the URL link to link to each one of my 6,000 JMIs, but that's the only I can think of. Yeah, but that will be a multiple hot. I'll have to open up this and then scroll down and then click on the link to get to it. But it is a route through. Get that. But, yeah, I mean, I'm assuming people already have JMIs or job operator instructions in repositories that are, so, whilst this is maybe good for new customers, how does it, there's a lot of work to put it back into this, or?
Well, this is close to where you are, isn't it? Whereas we've got other methods of getting instructions into STD lists.
Right, yeah.
Okay. You've got a repository, we've got another mechanism from GitLab. Yes, this is there, isn't it? It's there within the product.
Yeah.
Is this available?
Essentially takes that away, doesn't it?
Is this available to be a variable that you could use in events? So that way, when the job abandons,
you could send the operator instructions into the tickets. So that way, the ticket would have the updated instructions on what a person would need to do.
I don't know. So, because what we've done, we've got ours in ServiceNow. The reason we put them in ServiceNow, so they can just cut and paste the job, done that in the search in ServiceNow, it brings it up, it's got a whole load, who to assign that incident to, what to do you rerun it, all of that, and at the top it's got raise incident, it's long running, raise incident suspended, and it passes all the information from that knowledge record into a ServiceNow incident. It's got a link to that operator instruction for the support person to do it, so it's all linked together.
We need to get our heads together.
So yeah, that knowledge article was an audit log and everything else. If you edit it, change it, it's all recorded who's changed it and stuff. So these are all the things that, it's good and that we can use that potentially to point to it, but it's.
It could be the application owner owns the job.
Yes, that's true.
So
but they can edit.
Are we going to be giving them access to job descriptions to play around with the operator instructions? Operator instructions have been there in some form or fashion for time immemorial now. Fundamental underlying issue is the maintaining of it and the ownership and the edit access of it, which is why we've never used it.
Okay, we've got a couple of online questions. Yeah, we've got a couple of online questions. So the first one's from Tony. Tony, would you like to unmute yourself and ask the question, please?
Just looking at the OR statement, is there an upper limit to how often that OR can be used, or is it more in the form of SQL? So, for example, if I've effectively wanted to use that to group lots and lots of individual jobs to show in a filter that don't have any kind of syntactical relation, is there a limit to how many I could bring in?
No limit. You can put any type of OR that you want in the query, and you can provide a complex query as much as you want.
Perfect answer. Okay, and Chaitanya, you've got a question as well.
Hi, yes. My question is more about the users passing command commands using CLI and all. So there's no way to restrict the number of commands that user passes, and it has all the potential to bring down TWS at times, and we're literally struggling to control that. So any solution for this at the moment, or any planned solution in future?
But the workload security is there for this. I mean, if you don't want a user to perform a specific action, or you don't give the permission to perform those type of specific action, using the managed workload security, so the security which is already included into the product.
No, we don't. And I'm not talking about specific action. We don't want to control specific action or something, but instead, say if a user is checking the job status for like twice every second, for example, I want to restrict to once every 5 minutes.
Yes, it's based on volume, which you can't do with Conman Composer. You could do through the REST API, but you would need some sort of API manager front-ending it. It couldn't be done in the AWS REST API. So you'd need a network device to control the number of requests coming through to AWS, unfortunately.
Yeah, so that would be for the API calls, but CLI, it's again within TWS itself, isn't it? We are exploring the API gateway option, but CLI is also a problem.
It is, yes. And the solution is to build. The solution is to shoot your user.
I could have stopped the recording before you said that.
Yeah, unfortunately, you can't do that through the CLI.
Choose wisely.
Okay. Thank you for the question. I'm conscious of time. It's almost 1 o'clock. So shall we condense the next 2 sessions and do them after lunch? Have lunch now, come back at 1:30, so only 35 minutes for lunch, and then do the 2 sessions, and then Chris can have his. But before we break for lunch, Dean would like to talk to everyone.
Okay.
Just a minute.
I'm very conscious I am the only thing standing between you and a free lunch, so I'll be brief. There is another user conference that happens every year in the United States called the ASAP University. It's a 3.5-day event, but there are 3 main days where we have 15 classes on mainframe, 15 classes on distributed, and up to 15 classes on combined topics and things. It's well worth going to if you can get to it, but if you can't, they have a website called twsuser.org. And I recommend that you all go and have a look at that website, because there are a lot of resources on there that are very, very useful that you can get at for free. You don't have to register or anything like that. So there's a blog that I do occasionally about WAPL issues. Leon does one called Leon's Waypoints. There's another one, it's called Size Corner, but it's actually Steve Viola does it from level 2 support for the mainframe side of things. But the other big thing is we do something called WAPL Wednesday, which is, I think it's is it the third Wednesday of every month?
I believe so.
Yeah. And that's a web-based session. And again, this is free to join. You just have to send an email to info@twsuser.org. Tell them you're interested in the WAPL Wednesdays, and they will invite you to them, and you can register and get into the webcast.
They changed the name. It's Workload Wednesday.
It's Workload, not Wednesday. No, I'm thinking it's me.
Workload Wednesdays ASAP.
Workload Wednesday. WAPL Wednesday is one day in person. Sorry, that's me being an idiot. I'm jet lagged already, clearly. But yeah, so Workload Wednesday, well worth getting onto. Another thing to think about as well is if you go and have a look at the agenda and you can't get your company to let you go, though Nigel can get from Yorkshire, so clearly there's hope for all of us. But if you can't get your company to let you go, look at the agenda, and if there are topics on there that you are interested in, let me and Leon know, and we can potentially bring those sessions here. We could probably do them here at one of the future events here, especially if it's one that either me or Leon are presenting. We can bring them here and do them here. So there you go. Have a look. Send them an email on info@twsuser.org if you're interested in the Workload Wednesdays, and then you'll be fine. But by all means, try and go. It's in Miami this year, but you're too late for that because it's next week.
Still got time.
Well, yeah, you still got time.